Hey, warm hellos. Welcome to the governance calls for the Phil Plus program. Let's share the slides and take a look at the agenda. So at a high level, the main things we're going to hit on this call revolve around metrics, the open proposals, and then just to check in on the DataCap refresh and allocator applications. So for events taking place, we had two that have just completed. We have two folks joining the call to kind of give us summaries. The first will be Irma from NDLabs, talking about the Filecoin SP and Builder Summit that just took place, and MPG Marta from Filecoin Incentive Design Labs, FIDL, and the recent PMF Colo that happened in Berlin. We'll highlight your calendars coming up. We have two big events. One's taking place right now and today, and that's the Storage Provider Meetup. But then we also have the virtual sessions for FDS 7. Those take place over the course of 2 weeks. We'll talk about how to register and what to expect, as well as the live in-person event, FDS 7, taking place in Argentina, Buenos Aires. So we have the links and just information on that. The three proposals, we've had these on the last call. Just want to check in, make sure everyone has a chance to see them, answer any questions before these move forward. And then at the end, again, all DataCap refresh has gone out. There were two organizations that were throttled. Wanted to make sure we were here for any questions or any deep dives you have on that process. And then we've closed out all the new applications. So if you were an organization that applied, we want to make sure that we answer any questions you may have or be able to give you a discussion. So, hey, with that, this call takes place every 2 weeks. The next call will be on October 14th. If there's anything you want to add to the agendas, as always, we post this link ahead of time so you can share any topics you want to dive into. And hey, great month for the DataCap allocations going out. We saw 233 PIBs spread across 46 new clients and existing. And we're now up to 105 organizations that are serving. So great developments, great progress. Thanks for all you do. All right. Hey, I'm going to pass the mic over to Irma. Irma, love to hear about this event that just recently wrapped.
Oh yeah. Sorry guys, I'm outside now, and if there is some my voice is clear. Yeah. Okay. So there were 2 days event, and the first day is only for the storage providers, and fortunately we've got about 60 people from all over China, and they come to the event, and they are all like the storage providers, and actually the event is kind of like the talking some topics, not the very formal way. So the storage provider raised some concerns, and some comments on the strategy for the Filecoin network, overall Filecoin network, not only for the Fil Plus program. Yeah, and we've got Jennifer from Fileos. She has introduced about the PDP, and unfortunately, and seems like the PDP has make us some like more new business model for the storage provider to earn not only the block rewards, which is great, right? And also one concern from the storage provider raised on this SP meetup is that recently the hardware, like the storage hardware, the cost of storage hardware is has raised about 30%. That's the main point for storage provider now. They earn some profit has decreased. And there are some topics about like the overall network, some FIPS, and even the mining retrieval mining reserve, the 50% of the overall mining reserve, how this mining reserve will display, and that's the storage provider day, which was really great. And for the storage provider and builder days, and it's like the picture here corner, and have the video, and we've got like the Longfei from the Field Builder team has generated some like SDK like API for the builders who can build on the Filecoin on-chain cloud. And yeah, Filecoin on-chain cloud is next big step for the Filecoin network. So there are some like most of people are interested to build in, and also. And from the feedback from this event, we also know that there are much more people in mainland China are interested in like the orbit program, and like ambassador in China to like host the offline event, online event, and yeah, and we've also from the Paul from the Field Foundation, right? He was much like good at knowing the cost of the hardware. He was the professor of the IDC, right? And now after the event, he generated some feedback and have the connection, and we've worked together to translate the PDP, how to establish the PDP nodes to translate in Chinese. And we've also got some like groups for the storage provider who have interested in to build the PDP. And I think also we've got a great presentation from Qing. Qing was like she was really put efforts on the APEC growth. Not only the storage provider but also the builders. So I believe that because of this event, and in the future we will got more and more offline events to build up together for storage providers. And for Filecoin Plus program, and we also have some like conversation with some with there were about 2, 3 or 4 allocators was attended the event, which was really great. I met them. Yeah. Also, for the highlights of the event, we will generate some highlights for each for different threads. We'll post it on our Twitter. If you guys have interest, please you can follow our like NDLabs Twitters. They will be posted.
Oh, that was wonderful. I guess I just start by saying thank you. What an amazing event. Sounds like you guys had a lot that you covered, and I love the format of the university that it took place. To kind of keep you updated as we kind of look at this, one, that was great. I know that Xing and Paul got back, and just this morning there was a call to look at like what were the action items that they took from that event that we can then incorporate into some of the work that we're doing going forward. So again, just wanted to say how critically vital that work was, and thanks, and looking forward to seeing more of these if you're working on.
Yeah.
Well, as always, thank you again. And then there was another colo that took place in Berlin. We're lucky enough to have MPG join us today. MPG, would you like to say a little bit about the time you guys spent in Berlin?
Sure. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, we got you.
Great. So yes, as many of you may be aware from attending different FILDev summits, one of the core focuses of Filecoin for the last year, at least year and a bit, has been product market fit, and how can we work as a community to get to a place where truly Filecoin has its product market fit, meaning that there is a market all want. And the community has arrived on it has so far SLAs. Okay, hopefully you can hear me now. Sorry, my head doing something funny. I'll just.
Marta, if you could hear us now, if you were to recap probably the
Yeah.
last 90 seconds, that'd probably be high value.
Yeah. Okay. So
Thank you much. Yeah.
okay. I think we should begin now. Okay, so we've been working on finding a situation where Filecoin has its market and has huge amount of people that believe that this is the best storage network available for all the wonderful reasons that Filecoin is great. And so the conclusions from the PMF Colo, so Product Market Fit Colo, which had about 25 people from across on-ramps, some people working in like D-Store, Filecoin Foundation, of course, various projects that were incubated from protocol labs, like FIDL, and so on. What we are slowly landing on is the importance of using service level agreements as a metric for whether or a way of aligning everyone towards product market fit. And what that means is basically this idea that if we are able to show that whatever the SLAs are that are agreed between clients and storage providers, and of course that's something that the network can't really force, but we can aim to have a format where everybody uniformly agrees on certain metrics that we are measuring. Not the numbers that come out of it, but what we are trying to measure. So if we can show that as a network, 100% of client storage provider agreements on what those numbers should be for that particular engagement, then we create a world where we clearly can say, look, client, if you want to store data, you have 100% guarantee that whatever you expect from your storage provider, they will meet, because that's the average on the network. So that's kind of that's the biggest outcome of those conversations. I'm sure that this is something that the governance team will be taking into account in terms of like what they're trying to incentivize with Phil Plus, or how they are thinking about Phil Plus compliance. But generally, it is something that the whole network is moving towards, not just Phil Plus as an incentive program. So yeah, that's kind of my take on it. I know Michael, you've been there as well. So if you want to add anything, maybe it's worth adding.
Yeah, thanks so much, MBG. I think that was a really good summary. And maybe just to underscore the point you made about kind of Phil Plus aligning with the strategy of Filecoin overall, and moving towards a paradigm of creating value for the network, and using Phil Plus as that way of kind of exposing information that potential customers would want to have access to, and aligning that with the Filecoin economy as a whole, in terms of capturing new users that are going to drive the utility of the network for everyone.
Yeah, it sounds wonderful. Michael, MPG, as always, thank you for that. Looking forward to as we go on. For those of you on the call or just watching, just a quick plug, the virtual sessions are a chance before the FDS to kind of present. And then that way, when we have the live in person, it's more collaboration. So if you see what we're trying to look at for this virtual event is these 5 topics: the framing and engagement for the program, how does the economics work, what are the team operations, like who's doing what, where are we expanding and working our focus on, how are we doing that adoption, that product market fit that we just heard about, and then what does a roadmap look like? So we're working on that roadmap now, kind of thinking about what things to put in it. That way, when you come to these virtual sessions, you can kind of hear what's going to be happening in the program, because after that, there's the meetup in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And this is meant to be that gathering once everyone's kind of aligned on what we have identified for the program. Now we can kind of meet and discuss and collaborate and see where we go next. So if this is an option for you, love to see you in person. Won't put you on the spot, but that'd be delightful. All right. Hey, there were 3 proposals. We talked about these on the last call. We're closing them. So this is that last call for the community. If you have thoughts, input, or would like to see any modifications, these are 3 proposals pushed back by the governance team. The first one was the cap on duplicate data, setting this to 8. So this has been on the last 3 governance calls. After this, pending any input, we will move this forward. The second was the automated MetaAllocator pathway. As a recap from the last call, this receives DataCap directly from the root key holder, stores that DataCap, and then when an automated pathway submits their DataCap renewal, this pathway will feed it. The benefit in operation is, rather than these pathways having to wait for the root key holder, they now have a much faster refresh time because it's already been allocated to this MetaAllocator pathway, so it improves the speed and reliability. Is what we'd really love to see as the program advances is more of these pathways doing this automated review and creating these markets for getting large data cap out. And then the third was the ORMA, which is the on-ramps for meta-allocators. And this is a very small subset of the population that's doing very large client-focused deals and needs access to data cap outside of the norms that we conventionally see. So there is a lot of requirements to this. This application that you've seen outlines some more of those requirements, as well as what does the application process look like. Any questions, please leave them in chat, or as always, feel free to engage those issues before we kind of move them forward. And then as a friendly check-in for anybody, we have completed all of the applications that were in the applied.allocator.tech dashboard. So if you've submitted an application, you should see that data cap coming to chain. Any issues, any problems, please let us know, and I'll show you how in the next slide. If you did not get accepted and you're curious what was one of the issues, we've kind of taken some time on the past calls, but as always, I'm very happy to hop in. Sometimes a DM can get quite lengthy as we go back and forth, so I'm always able to hop on a call if easier, or please come to these calls if you want to talk. As a friendly reminder, please, all those new applications that have come through, just want to remind you on what needs to be done. You see highlighted, if you are a new pathway, please, you have to have a README set up with how your bookkeeping repo is structured, how diligence planning will work, how distributions will go out. Without this, you may see your pathway frozen, or you may see your data cap completely taken offline. This is a requirement for the refresh, just a friendly plug. Hey, and just to plug again on support, you have 2 great teams that are here to kind of help you with any issues that you need. So the first is in the screenshot you see, that's from the Allocator Registry GitHub. That's linked in some of the links that we have here. And this is if you need anything from the governance team or program help with your file. So you can see some of these are changing bookkeeping repos, they're changing GitHub handles, they're making changes. The reason that goes through governance is that way we can verify that the requester is the actual organization. We've had some issues in the past, so this is just a great way to keep it all honest. And then FIDL has a dedicated tooling GitHub repo. You can see the link here, GitHub FIDL Labs Allocator Tooling. Great for some of those technical questions, like I expected X behavior and I got Y. Very responsive, and they'll come back as they work on this tooling to make sure it's functional, as well as like helping the program. So again, if you need support, the registry is where you find it. And the data cap refreshes have gone out. Big props to Amin. So you should see the issues that's created. So he'll put them all in this round 6 rolling. You should see your updates come through here. We also had 2 organizations that were throttled. So just wanted to kind of call out if you have any questions on this or want to deep dive, Cinevault and Phil DC. A lot of this comes down to how we're kind of tracking this data cap that goes back to the clients. So Min's left some notes. Again, if you have any questions, the goal of the throttle is to identify an issue, give you a chance to correct it, and then come back and get the full top off and then expand as it goes forward. For any pathways that were not accepted as we go through, we've kind of had this before. We're looking for kind of, hey, what went wrong? So feel free to respond to a minute any of these, and we'll happily help and take a look. So those were the updates as far as events, as far as proposals, as far as data cap refresh, and as far as like what you should see for support.